Alison, Zelms and I, the interim city manager, and I went to Washington last week, February 3rd through the 5th. And we went there specifically to talk to congressional people, senators and Congress people, about getting some money for Sedona for various projects that we have. Actually, the reason that we went wasn't so much for the stimulus package as it was for the appropriations bills that are going on. And specifically what we were trying to get was about $15 million for 3 different projects here in Sedona. Those projects included a bypass at the Ranger Road Brewer area where we would actually be bypassing the roundabout and coming up on Cook's Hill and connecting there. The idea is that ultimately actually the ADOT is forecasting either a D or an F performance level at that roundabout even before we finish at the Y. So the focus is trying to get traffic to bypass that. Another area that we were trying to get money for was for enhancements on 89A. I think that maybe the citizens of Sedona know that we're looking at doing a redevelopment plan on 89A, and part of the thing that we would like to do is get money for enhancements in terms of possible whatever we decide to do, whether it's roundabouts, whether it's medians, landscaping, all of those kinds of things. And then thirdly, we were trying to get money for the disposal of our effluent out at the wastewater plant. And right now, the city is looking specifically at possibly transporting that effluent about 4 miles to the west and possibly injecting it into the aquifer there, or the Vados zone. And so that may run anywhere between $3 and $15 million, depending on what we do. So the total amount of money that we were actually looking for was about $15 million over the 3 projects, and those were matching funds. Specifically for the State Road Pedestrian Safety and Streetscape enhancements, we were looking at about $3,900,000. Specifically for the Ranger Road Brewer Road intersection improvements, we were requesting about $3,400,000. And then for the Sedona Water Reuse Project, we were requesting about $8 million. The money really doesn't have to do with the lighting per se. It may have to do with the type of poles that we have. It may have to do with the type of lighting, the lighting standards, the shielding, that type of thing. So it would certainly be helpful there. The basis for getting the money, however, does concern me. What they're saying is on these appropriations, you need to be shovel ready. In other words, you need to have your planning done, your engineering done, and you need to be ready to turn dirt within 180 days or move forward with your project, whatever your project is. So, I think generally that strategy concerns me because a lot of, and we're getting a little bit off topic here in terms of Sedona in particular, but a lot of projects that are shovel ready were projecting projects that were projecting growth, and that was something that we talked to the senators and the Congress people about, that we thought maybe they were heading the wrong way. I'm not sure if that got changed. They were in the middle of debating all of this when we were there. So we saw Representative Kirkpatrick, and we saw Senator Kyle's staff, the chief of staff, I might say. Senator Kyle happened to be in the Senate at the time debating. So it was those 2 people. And I was kind of, they told us not to expect any more than about 15 minutes, and in both cases I think we were probably closer to 45. And the city does have a lobbyist that was with us, and she was very impressed and encouraged by the fact that they spent that much time with us. So I think we had a really good dialogue. We were successful in making contact with the people. We were successful in talking to the top staff people, which is really who you want to be talking to. We got on their radar. Quite frankly, the situation is that The Senate and the House are arguing over how the bill is going to be done, how much money ultimately is going to be there, and how the appropriations are going to be ultimately delivered. I have to say that I do have some concerns about funding from the Appropriations Bill, because it's looking like it may go directly to the state. And the rural areas in the state are always the last ones to get the money. So, I guess if I was going to be pessimistic, I would say that there are concerns there. And so my focus right now is to try to determine who do we contact in the state to get on their radar. But, the trip was successful in the sense that I had a very good dialogue, or Alison and I had a very good dialogue with the representatives there. They know who we are. Ann Kirkpatrick, or Representative Kirkpatrick, used to be city attorney for the city of Sedona. And so she's familiar with the city and its challenges, and we've developed a very good relationship. We also talked with John Kyle's office, and of course John is very supportive, or Senator Kyle is very supportive of Sedona as well. He understands how important Sedona is to the revenue stream of the city. So it was certainly worthwhile, and I found that in terms of getting money, you have to make the contact. You have to go out and you have to talk to people, and you have to make the request. They're not just going to come to you. On the Appropriations Bill in particular, I think probably what we were hoping for was to be on an earmark. And earmarks are getting a little bit of a black eye in Washington now, and a lot of people are reticent to say that they actually earmark. Senator McCain in particular is known for not earmarking. So, again, it's just a matter of saying, we'd like to have the money. You probably don't bring up the E word, but ultimately, if you get on their radar, hopefully you'll be able to be part of their consideration when they're when they're deciding where the money is going to go. It's never been anything. This money coming into the city has never been anything that we've counted on. This would simply be gravy, and it would be real helpful gravy, I have to say. But we're not counting on this money, and if it doesn't come in, then we're going to be looking for other sources. The fact of the matter is that stimulus money and appropriations money is going to be forthcoming, and you have to be getting in line. You have to be aggressive about trying to get some of it. So, are we going to be able to move forward with some of these projects in terms of the enhancements on 89A and the Ranger Brewer Road intersection? Probably not. We'll have to delay it unless we can figure out some other way to get some money. But the wastewater in particular, that's something that we need to move forward with. Well, it's interesting to see how things work, and kind of disconcerting at the same time when you realize, geez, I'm not sure that these folks have their minds wrapped around what the problem is and what caused all of this economic crisis in the first place. And if you don't understand the cause of the problem, how are you going to be able to come up with a viable solution? So, I was actually kind of concerned about the fact that, I think we're throwing a lot of money out there, and we really don't know whether that's going to work or not. It was interesting, and it was kind of a little disquieting for me. I wish them all the best. It's a tough situation to be in. For all of us that are in leadership positions, it's tough. But, that's when the tough get going. I want to say that I think that the trip was worth spending the money. I found as mayor that to go out and be proactive and to actually talk to the county supervisors, and a good example of this effort was because of the relationship that I had with Chip Davis and the fact that I asked for the money, Sedona got an additional $1 million last year for stormwater drainage. I've also had that same conversation with Matt Ryan, as well as other state representatives, and so my focus really is to get on people's radar so that when funding comes up, Sedona is there at the forefront. And so I think it's important that we do this kind of thing.